I was roaming through Cloud Ring with a whole tank Brutix, MJD, Scram Web, Small Newt, and Blasters, and came across a small Claw, Hecate, Svapul, Onyx. Onyx was aggroed, so I jumped through, and I believe the other two were aggroed as well. Jumped through and just right away engaged this Claw because he was tackle for this side of the gate. His job was to hold me on this side so that the rest of the guys could de-aggro and jump in and try to kill me. Claw is easy for my Brutix because Scram Web, Small Newt, hold him in place pretty well. Use a keep at like 2.5k. He dies real fast. I want to kill the Svapul as well, and I'm all for killing him. However, he never quite comes within range. I should have turned in on him right there. By the time I started to, he had started to back off. Not working. The Onyx is in. I cannot break an Onyx. Even if it was just 1 versus 1, me versus an Onyx, most likely I'm not going to break him before he whittles his way through my stuff. Not to mention now there's a Typhoon on the grid, a Broadsword, Atron. It's getting a little nasty. I MJD out, aligned to something first, of course, because you don't want to MJD in the direction of nothing and have to turn around and align back towards the enemy who's now burning in to try to point you again. Create a safe spot mid-warp.
Wow.
I'm hoping to isolate this Svapul so that I can drop him. It looks like he's charging in, taking the bait. I'm trying to run away and get as much distance between me and that Typhoon as possible before the fight starts. Unfortunately, the Svapul is trying to bait me in. He sees that I'm running away. He gets close enough to where I might turn in, and then he says, hey, I'm not going to fight. So he backs off. Not happening there. He's a little bit too smart for me in that case. But the fight continues. Same guys, same group. They live nearby. It's J4LP. I whip my slaves back and forth. And I've spent a lot of time fighting with them because I lived in and around Cloud Ring for quite a few months. So they're fun to fight. Land on the gate. You've got to use warps to kind of isolate the bigger ships out of the fight. Even though I'm a bigger ship, because he wasn't aligned, I can kind of get a head start on that Typhoon. And I'm just trying to stretch and act like I'm running. Stretch these two smaller ships, the Atron and the Svapul, as much as possible. Whenever I jump into a system, I'm trying to burn off gate so that anything heavy that lands outside of any real effective range. And you can see here I threw my drones out a little bit preemptively, and it scared them off. Okay. You see I'm saying that in chat as well. Trying to string them out. I want to go ahead and lock them up early because they're trying to wait for the Typhoon to get in on the fight. I don't know if that Typhoon has an MJD or not. He could have an MJD and I could get to 100k on him and he shows up right on top of me. So that's a risk I'm taking here. Now as a Phobos, I mean, these guys must love Hicks or something. Phobos, Broadsword, and Onyx. I think you've got that covered. I killed the Atron really quick. It was kind of a gimme. It was a little bit too easy. That's not my real target here. I'm wanting to get some of those T3 destroyers. I have no plans whatsoever in this fight or any of these string of fights that happens over the course of it's about 10, 15, 20 minutes. Probably about 20 minutes real time, maybe 30. Probably 20. I have no desire to kill any of the Hicks or the battleships. That's not even in my plans. Because, you know, if you're solo, you gotta face the truth. I'm here. I have no links. I have no implants. I might have a 3% whole implant, which I usually take with the Brutix. But other than that, I can't take on all of that at one time. So I've got to play smart, and I've got to slowly work them and play with the psychology of the thing. Make them think I'm running, then now he's turning around, he's going back the other direction. Do as much misdirection and trickery as I can to isolate out the larger ships, the ships that could potentially hold me down and tackle me. Because what my fear is that one of these Hicks is going to have a scram. Scram means no MJD. So I can't fight within 20, 30k of any of these Hicks or battleships. Battleships usually don't have scrams, so I'm pretty safe with those, except they do usually have newts, and they do usually have quite a bit of DPS, or at least they can do quite a bit of DPS to a big ship like a Brutix. So I see this Fey pool here on this gate, or near this gate. Looks pretty promising to me, so I'm going into here. You can see now, I'm jumping into 6Z9. And this was the fight that I talked about in my movement video, I'm pretty sure. So if you watch the movement video, this is basically the fight I was talking about. So now we got a Heck-8 on scan. I'm looking at the map, trying to find a way to turn around, basically. I'm wanting to go a different direction than they might expect me to go. So here we go. Left the Phoboses and stuff behind me. So you see I'm saying their heavy ships are all 2 jumps back. I'm being predictable. I was going one direction, and I just completely stopped and turned around and went the opposite direction. The downside to me going this opposite direction of the direction I was currently going, the direction that they were burning all their ships in, they were trying to get tackle in front of me. So since I knew tackle was in front of me, I turned around and went backwards. Problem being, 9-4 RP is their home system. So even if they're not going to make it back, their buddies can all undock and go in the gate and meet me. So that's my risk here. But in general, a lot of people get all serious and say, oh, well, this wasn't perfect. You didn't do this perfect. Listen, I'm out here to have fun. And you know what? I'm completely aware that there is about a 60-70% chance I'm going to jump through this gate and I am going to die in a fiery death. And I don't care. As long as I get a kill and have some fun in the process, this Brutix basically has paid for itself already in fights, as far as I'm concerned. I've gotten 2 kills so far. I've had a nice bit of fun with it. It's all good. Everything I get from here on is gravy. So here we go. I jump in. Oh, there's stuff in here. All right. So let's start burning off the gate. I didn't run my directional there. That was a mistake. Here comes the Heck-8. All right, this is what I want. He charges in. Perfect. That's what I wanted him to do. All right, so I need to get drones, scram, web, newt, guns, everything on him. Keep at, I think it's 2.5k I've got it set at. He goes down real fast. Now it's time for this Fey pull. Notice the Panther's in. That's not ideal. It's a very expensive ship that is reasonably powerful. Not much more powerful than a regular battleship, I should say. So now we're finally getting into my structure. Fey pull is dropping. That first Heck-8 was worth 60 mil, so he paid for my ship. Here comes the Fey pull. Fey pull's down. That's another double the price of my ship. And now it's time for the Panther. So I can't MJD. Panther's got me scrammed. I'm pretty sure. Yes, he does. He's got me scrammed and pointed. And webbed and newted. So here's my biggest problem is that I am newted. I have no way to regenerate my cap. I need to turn that newt off and stop wasting my cap trying to newt him. That's kind of a silly thing to do. He's going to have more capacitor than me and more cap stability. I need to hold on my cap as long as possible. He's dropping relatively quickly. Ignore the broadsword. I changed ammo at some point, I think. I'm not sure if I did yet. Maybe I'm about to do that now. To void, try to get more. But at this point, I'm cap dead, and the fight's over. There's nothing I can do, so enjoy the fiery death.